Look at it. The thing you carry. The thing no one sees when you smile and say, "I'm okay." It's not just memory. It's not just stress. It's the silent heaviness in your chest. The ache that has no name, only presence. It doesn't speak, but it lives inside everything you do. This weight you carry, it shows up when you're alone. It tightens your chest in the middle of joy. It turns silence into noise and makes your own thoughts feel too loud. You've learned to carry it so well, people think it's part of you. But it isn't. It's what happened to you. It's what you survived. You were never weak for feeling this. You were never less for having a shadow inside your light. The world told you to hide your weight, to bury it, to perform like it was never there. But your weight, it's not a curse. It's not shame. It's sacred. Because within that heaviness is every moment you didn't give up. Every morning you got out of bed when your soul begged you not to. Every smile you forced when all you wanted to do was disappear. That's not weakness. That's proof. Proof that you are still here. Proof that you endured. The weight you carry is not your enemy. It is your invitation. An invitation to slow down, to feel, to understand, to transform. You were never meant to run from it. You were meant to learn from it. Because what you carry is the raw material of the life you're about to create. And no one can do that for you. No one can alchemize your pain into power but you. This weight is yours, and that makes it sacred. That makes it holy. That makes it the beginning of something extraordinary.
They lied to you, quietly, repeatedly, until you believed it wasn't a lie at all. They told you to smile when it hurt, to stay quiet when you wanted to scream, to hold it all in because no one wants to hear your problems. They told you your pain was too much, too messy, too dramatic. And so you did what they asked. You swallowed the ache. You painted your face with strength. You told people, "I'm fine," when what you really meant was, "I'm drowning." You tried to be easy to love, easy to understand, easy to handle. And each time you did, you betrayed a piece of your truth. They made you think your pain was the issue, that if you just fixed yourself, smiled more, cried less, stayed quiet, you'd finally be enough. That if you erased the mess, you'd finally be lovable. But they were wrong. Your pain was never the problem. Your pain was the signal. It was the truth. It was your soul crying out for healing, your body begging to be heard, your spirit asking to be seen. And what did the world say? You're too sensitive. You're overreacting. You should be grateful. Grateful? For what? For abandoning yourself just to be accepted? For shrinking so someone else could stay comfortable? That's not gratitude. That's survival. And you're not here to survive. You're here to awaken. So here's the truth. Feeling deeply is not a flaw. It's your gift. Your pain is not an inconvenience. It's your compass. It points to what matters, to what was lost, to what needs healing. And if you listen to it, it can lead you home. Pain doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're real. It means something mattered enough to hurt. It means you were brave enough to care. And in a world built on numbness, that makes you powerful beyond words. There comes a moment, a quiet collapse, a day where the pretending finally cracks, where your voice shakes too much to lie, where you sit on the floor with your back against the wall, and for the first time, you stop holding it all together. You thought you could outrun it, work through it, laugh above it, but now you're here, bare, undone, with nothing left to give. The world says you've fallen apart, but what if you haven't? What if this is the beginning, not the end? The breaking point isn't the moment you lose. It's the moment you finally stop lying to yourself. It's the moment you stop pretending that the weight doesn't hurt, that you don't need help, that you're okay. It's not weakness, it's awakening. In your breaking, there is truth. In your tears, there is clarity. The walls you built to protect yourself, this is the moment they fall. Not to leave you exposed, but to finally set you free. You were never meant to be perfect. You were meant to be real. And real people break. Real people fall. Real people cry in the dark and question everything. That's not the end of your strength. That's where your strength begins. The ground you're kneeling on right now, it isn't failure, it's foundation. The tears in your eyes, that's salt water carving a new path. And the voice inside you that still whispers, "Get up," that's the part of you that will rebuild everything. The ground you're kneeling on right now, it isn't failure, it's foundation. The tears in your eyes, that's salt water carving a new path. And the voice inside you that still whispers, "Get up," that's the part of you that will rebuild everything. You haven't lost yourself. You've met the part of you that was buried beneath pretending, beneath pleasing, beneath perfection. And now you begin. Not as who you were, but as who you truly are.
There was a time you showed up as yourself, before the edits, before the filters, before the rules about who you had to be. You laughed loud, you asked questions, you cried openly, you lived honestly. And then, the world told you it was too much. They told you to tone it down, to fit in, to behave. So you folded, bit by bit, smile by smile. You learned what versions of you were safe, what parts to shrink, what truths to keep quiet. You became a performer, not because you wanted to, but because you had to. You became fluent in other people's expectations. You wore their comfort like a costume. You dressed in silence. You danced around your truth. You dimmed your light just enough to be allowed in, but never enough to be fully seen. But you weren't born to be palatable. You weren't meant to be quiet. You weren't put here to be digestible or soft or convenient. You were born to be whole, wild, unedited, true. And every part of you they told you to hide, the messy, the emotional, the passionate, the loud, that is where your power lives. That is where your magic breathes. And if you keep hiding it, you'll keep hiding from your own life. The truth is, the more you shrink, the more it hurts. You were never meant to live in fragments. You were never meant to feel like too much or not enough. You were meant to be seen, fully, unapologetically, unmistakably. And now,
Take off the mask. Come home to your own skin. The world doesn't need another echo. It needs your voice, your story, your soul. You were never meant to hide. You were meant to be free. There is an ancient story, whispered through centuries, hidden in symbols, buried in books few dared to read. Alchemists, mystics, seekers, searching for the impossible, turning lead into gold. It was called the magnum opus, the great work. But they weren't just searching for treasure. They were searching for truth. They thought it was about metal, about formulas, about heat and chemicals. But the real alchemy wasn't in the laboratory. It was in the human soul, in people like you, in pain like yours. The lead they spoke of was always metaphor. Your heartbreak, your failure, your fear, it's the lead. The dense, heavy, useless part of life that weighs you down. But in the ancient truth, lead is not trash. Lead is raw material. It's what gold begins as. It's what gold is born from. What if your pain wasn't meant to be erased? What if it was meant to be refined? Alchemy doesn't destroy the lead. It transforms it. Not by pretending it isn't there, but by burning it, breaking it, and rebuilding it into something radiant. Your sadness is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your great work. Every tear is a drop of the elixir. Every scar is part of the formula. Every mistake, every dark night, every why me, it's all alchemy. You are not broken. You are becoming. This is the alchemist's secret. You already have the gold. You've just buried it under layers of pain, shame, and silence. Your job isn't to find power outside of you. Your job is to reveal what's been inside you all along. The great work begins the moment you choose to stop hiding your pain and start using it. To teach, to build, to light the way, to rise. Every transformation needs fire. Not warmth, not comfort, but fire. The kind that burns away illusions. The kind that makes you sweat, tremble, question everything. This is the furnace. And whether you chose it or were thrown into it, it's where you are now. No one escapes the furnace. No one rises without first being broken down. Strength doesn't arrive fully formed. It's forged in the pain, in the pressure, in the days where everything feels like too much. You want to escape it? You want the shortcut. But the furnace doesn't offer exits. It offers evolution. And if you stay, if you breathe, scream, endure, something extraordinary happens. You begin to change. The furnace is the moment you sit in the discomfort. It's when you face your wounds instead of covering them. When you hold your fear in both hands and whisper, I see you. It's ugly. It's sacred. It's yours. Every drop of sweat, every silent night, every unanswered prayer, that's not wasted effort. That's you being tempered, hardened, honed. You're not being punished. You're being prepared. And one day, you'll step out of this furnace, not the same person who entered, but someone stronger, someone clearer, someone who knows that real strength isn't found in the easy, but in surviving the heat. You don't have to like the furnace. You just have to respect what it's making you into. The fire isn't here to destroy you. It's here to reveal you.
Every scar you carry has a name, a moment, a reason. Maybe you don't talk about it. Maybe you try not to look at it, but it's there, and it matters. Because that scar is more than skin. It's memory, it's survival. It's proof that you went through something and you came out the other side. We're told to hide our scars, to cover them, to pretend they never happened. But your scars are not ugly. They are not shameful. They are not mistakes. They are chapters in your story. And someone out there is waiting to hear that story, so they know they're not alone in theirs. That heartbreak, that failure, that trauma, it shaped you. It taught you what no textbook could. It broke you open in ways that made room for compassion, for awareness, for purpose. Your scars are not your weakness. They are your wisdom. You don't need to be unmarked to be worthy. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. The world doesn't need more polished masks. It needs truth, realness, evidence that someone has walked through the fire and lived. So speak your scars, write them, sing them, share them. Don't wait until you're healed enough. Healing isn't a finish line, it's a voice. And your voice, it's medicine. Every scar is a story worth telling, not for pity, not for validation, but for liberation, for connection, for courage. Someone needs your truth, not the polished version, the scarred one, because that's where the power lives. There's a part of you you've tried to bury, the version of you that felt unworthy, afraid, ashamed, the part that sits in silence when the lights go out and no one's watching. But that darkness, it's not the enemy, it's the origin. Because inside your darkest moments are clues, blueprints, coordinates pointing toward what matters most. The tears, the loneliness, the nights you didn't know how to keep going, those weren't detours, they were the map. Your light doesn't exist in spite of your darkness, it exists because of it. You only learn resilience by being broken. You only learn compassion by hurting. You only find clarity when you've first been lost. The darkness shows you what your joy costs, what your peace is worth, what your soul is made of. When everything falls away and you're left with nothing but yourself, that's when your real self speaks. And the truth is, you needed the dark to see your own light. You needed the silence to hear your own voice. You needed the emptiness to remember what actually fills you. So don't curse the darkness. Study it, sit with it, learn from it. Because it has never been there to destroy you. It's been preparing you, shaping you, whispering the truths you were too distracted to hear in the light. Your darkness holds the blueprint for your light. Read it, honor it, and when you're ready, rise from it. You've been told you're broken, too emotional, too damaged, too complicated. But what if none of that is true? What if the cracks you see in yourself are not evidence of your failure, but signs that you're in progress? You're not broken. You're becoming. Becoming someone wiser, softer, stronger. The pain you feel is not a flaw. It's a forging. You are in the process of becoming who you were always meant to be. Becoming is not clean. It's not neat. It's not pretty. Becoming is messy. It's real. It's late nights and ugly cries and quiet moments of choosing not to give up. Becoming is painful,
Because growth always is. You are not a failure because you feel lost. You are not broken because you still hurt. That ache in your chest, that's what it feels like to rebuild. The confusion, that's the cost of evolution. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're right on time. There is nothing wrong with you. There never was. There are just parts of you that haven't fully formed yet. And every day you wake up and keep trying, that's another piece clicking into place. You don't have to have it all together to be worthy. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You only have to keep becoming, slowly, bravely, honestly. That is enough. So next time you feel broken, remember this. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. You've been chasing gold, not real gold, metaphorical gold. The polished life, the perfect relationship, the dream job, the flawless image. You've been chasing what everyone says you're supposed to want, supposed to be, supposed to look like. But every time you get close, it moves. The goal shifts. The bar raises. What once felt like success now feels like not enough. Because you were never meant to chase gold. You were meant to create it. Chasing keeps you hungry. Creating makes you full. Chasing is built on lack. Creating is built on truth. And you don't have to wait for someone to hand you worth. You can make it, build it, craft it from the raw material of who you already are. You are not a follower of other people's gold. You are a forger of your own. Your value doesn't come from attention or applause or approval. It comes from what you choose to become when no one's watching. This is your invitation to stop running, stop comparing, stop chasing illusions. You were not made to fit in someone else's treasure chest. You were made to become your own masterpiece. Real gold isn't found. It's created through presence, through pain, through patience. And your gold, it's waiting to be revealed, not by chasing more, but by choosing yourself. You've been performing for so long, you almost forgot what it feels like to just be, to show up unfiltered, to exist without a script, to speak without rehearsing your tone. Somewhere along the way, survival became a stage. You learned to smile when it hurt, to say I'm okay when you weren't, to play the part that got approval, even if it cost your peace. You were applauded for your strength, but no one asked what it was hiding. Performance keeps you safe, but it also keeps you small. It protects you, but it also imprisons you. It convinces you that who you really are is too much, too emotional, too soft, too real. But here's the truth. The real you is the only version that can ever heal. Healing requires honesty. It asks you to be seen. It invites you to put the mask down and say, "This is who I am." Wounded, worthy, becoming. Healing isn't as glamorous as performance, but it's real. And real is what changes everything. You don't have to keep pretending. You don't have to keep performing for love, for validation, for space in someone else's life. The one thing you've never had to earn is your right to heal. You were never meant to be a perfect image. You were meant to be a living, breathing truth. And the moment you choose healing over performing, you come back home to yourself. Transformation isn't pretty. It doesn't wear makeup or arrive with applause. It doesn't come when everything's going right. It comes when everything falls apart. Real transformation happens when you walk through the fire and refuse to run. This isn't a fairy tale. There's no shortcut through the furnace, no bypass around the breakdown. You have to walk through it. Eyes open, heart exposed, feet trembling, but forward. People think transformation is a moment. It's not. It's 1,000 choices. It's deciding to keep going when your chest is cracked open. It's choosing honesty over comfort, growth over hiding, truth over ease. Walking through fire means confronting everything you've avoided. The loss, the lies, the wounds that never closed. And you won't always feel brave. You won't always feel strong. But you don't need to. Because transformation doesn't ask for perfection. It only asks for presence. The fire is not there to punish you. It's there to purify you, to melt away the masks, to burn off the false narratives, to leave behind only what's real. And what's real is this: you're still here. You're still standing. You are walking through fire, and every step you take is proof that you are becoming someone you never dreamed you could be. You don't come out of the fire untouched. You come out remade, refined, unshakable. This is how transformation really happens, not in the avoidance, but in the walking through.
Transformation isn't just about moments. It's about tools, truth, compassion, discipline. These are the quiet instruments that rebuild you. Not overnight, not all at once, but slowly, purposefully, like a sculptor chipping away at stone to reveal what was always inside. Truth is the first tool, the kind that cuts, the kind that frees. It means telling yourself the hard things. This hurts. I'm not okay. I deserve more. Truth doesn't always feel good, but it always makes room for what's real. Compassion is the second tool, the hand you offer yourself after the truth has stung. It's saying, I see you. It's forgiving yourself for not knowing better, for staying too long, for trying so hard to be loved. Compassion softens what truth exposes. Discipline is the third, the most underestimated. It's the daily choice to keep going, the structure that carries you when motivation leaves. It's the boundaries you build, the practices you commit to, the promises you keep even when no one's watching. These three tools are not loud. They don't make headlines. They don't come with praise. But they change everything. Together, they build a foundation strong enough to hold who you're becoming. You don't need to fix yourself. You need to equip yourself with truth, with compassion, with discipline. These are your tools. Pick them up and begin again.
There is a wound you carry. Quiet, persistent. Sometimes you don't even notice it until someone touches it. And when they do, you flinch, not just in pain, but in memory, because that wound is old and sacred. You've been told to hide it, to get over it, to move on. But that wound, it's not weakness, it's not shame. It's the very place where your greatest strength is waiting to grow. In ancient traditions, they believed the wound was the place the light enters, the place transformation begins. Because when something breaks open, it opens, and in that opening, something deeper is revealed. Your sacred wound is not just the source of your pain, it's the source of your purpose. It's what connects you to others. It's what gives your voice depth. It's the reason your story matters. The part of you that was hurt is the part that can now help. The version of you that felt small now knows how to lift others. The one who was silenced now speaks in ways only the wounded ever can, with honesty, with empathy, with fire. You don't have to run from the wound. You don't have to hide it. You can honor it, learn from it, let it shape you. Because healing doesn't erase it, it transforms it. What hurt you can heal you, if you let it, if you stay with it, if you turn toward it, not to reopen it, but to understand it. That wound is sacred, and it's where your magic begins. You've listened. You've reflected. You've faced the darkness. You've touched the flame. And here you are, at the end. But this isn't the end. It's a beginning. And the truth is so simple, so profound, it might take your breath away. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle. You are not chasing a transformation. You are living it, right now. In the tears you cried in silence. In the strength you showed when no one was looking. In the decision to keep going when you didn't know how. The world may not always see it. They may not always understand it. But your becoming is real. Your journey is sacred. You were never behind. You were always exactly where you needed to be to uncover this truth. You don't need to become more impressive. You need to become more true, more honest, more aligned with the gold that's already inside you. Because that's what makes you magnetic. Not perfection, not control, but truth. Stop waiting for someone else to name your magic. Stop asking for permission to shine. Look in the mirror and remember, everything you've been seeking was already within you. You are the miracle. And the great work, it begins and ends with you.